From a little cover, I got my dreams in sight. Wrestling on the mat, I go and put up a fight. With every hold and slam, I rise to the peak. Now as Professor Bear, it's my strength that they see. Roaring with knowledge like a lion so proud. In this wrestling world, I'm standing out loud. I'm Professor Bear, got the passion to spare. Wrestling's my life, with the power to share. From the roof to ropes, in the spotlight we gleam. Chasing victory dreams, living out the theme. Now my WOSN, my squad.
Yeah. Hey, new beginnings on the cusp. Not too old to adjust. Old dog, new tricks. Remember, I was just a pup. Something dirty in my cup. Clean soul.
With my voice through, we'll always ride. In the wrestling world, one just claim the prize.
Welcome and thank you for joining me this evening. I am Professor Bear, and this is a Bear's Thoughts. Guys, girls, man, we're coming close to the end of Promotions Appreciation Month, and it's been such a great honor and privilege to talk to so many great promoters and bookers and getting a feel of what they do to make the art that we all love possible. They definitely don't get enough credit. It's that old saying, when everything goes right, it's everybody else. But as soon as it goes wrong, it goes to the bookers and the promoters. So they definitely deserve this spotlight. And of course, to learn what they go through for, again, our entertainment. With that being said, I have the owner of Heritage Wrestling Alliance with me today. Joey, how are you doing today, sir?
Just fine. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful, wonderful. So before we get into it too deep, I want to point out to all the fans, as you notice, I have put up a different logo. This is their logo. Wrestling is a big, big world of different territories, different systems. But unfortunately, a lot of names are very similar, if not exactly alike. So when you go to look up their stuff, I want you to know their logo so you have the right company. And if you're anything like me, if someone helps you out, you're going to take it and be happy. So I put up this QR code. So this will take you directly to their YouTube page. So you can see all the action and everything they have to offer. Now, with that being said, Joey, I always ask all my guests this question. How did you become a fan of professional wrestling?
You know, I like a lot of times, especially down south, you got the Saturday morning wrestling and the Saturday evening wrestling. And I can remember, the WWE pay-per-views on Thanksgiving. A lot of good times, sitting around watching the pay-per-views on TV with the family. Did the occasional, back in my early teen years, the occasional show at the Armory. You know, just back then it seemed like wrestling was bigger than life. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, definitely. So with that, how did you go from just being a wrestling fan to owning a promotion?
Well, you know, I would love to tell you something glamorous and, you know, just star studded, but, you know, but first of all, before you said, let me tell you my first true wrestling memory.
Okay.
Spartanburg Memorial Auditorium, Saturday night. I watched Ric Flair and Wahoo McDaniel go 60 minutes in the ring. Somehow I ended up after the show in the parking lot. I'll never forget. Ric Flair was riding in a gold Corvette. I got to stand there and watch Ric Flair walk out with his lady on his arm. You know, at that point, I think I was kind of hooked. But yeah, that's my true first wrestling memory. But and I'm thankful. You know, my dad kind of supported me with my wants and all that. But funny, interesting story. I had a good friend of mine who owned independent wrestling company with a friend of his locally here. His son wanted to open a little card shop at our local trade lot. Me and his son kind of done a little business, a little horse trading around here and there. And you know, anyway, ended up his son owed me a little bit more than probably we should let it happen. But you know, his dad, we talked, and his dad's like, well, you know, come to a wrestling show. So I did. It was at one of our local high schools. Road Warrior, I want to say it was Hawk, but I'm not 100% sure. One of the Road Warriors was there. We kind of sat down, got talking about it, and he says, hey, man, you know, all I got right now is I own half a wrestling company. If you want it, take it, we're even. You know, okay, cool, I'll take it. We'll roll with it. I figured, you know, month or two, he'll get the bug back, get the itch, come take it back, no problem. So we ran a few shows, and then his other partner ended up going through a divorce, needed some money for a lawyer. I helped him out, and lo and behold, I ended up with a wrestling company. Dumb luck, I don't know. You call it what you want to call it, but you know,
That has to be the most unique way of getting a promotion I've ever heard. and believe you me, this month I've heard some good ones, but that has taken the top place. Oh wow. So so you have a promotion that pretty much just falls in your lap. What were
yeah.
what did you think? What did you decide? Okay, I'm gonna do this with it, or I want this. Did it change much from what the guys were doing before?
It really it has changed drastically. I mean, you know, I've been running, I think now 7-8 years maybe, give or take. I mean, you know, the time it flies when you're having fun.
Oh yeah.
But you know, we've had several different routes. We underwent a name change about 4 years ago. Do some name drops. Boomer Payne, local guy from Pittsburgh, guided us quite a bit. Did some booking for me back in the day. You know, I've had the fortune of meeting a gentleman by the name of Chris Hamrick, the high flying Chris Hamrick, curator of the Hamrick Bump. Chris is doing my booking for me right now. You know, but we're kind of a little bit oddball as far as the booking goes. We usually run 3 bookers, and it carries a 2/3 vote before we do anything. That way, you know, what I want, what Chris wants, or what the other person wants, really, you know, if we vote on it. You know, we've been lucky. We've done some traveling around. We've been lucky. We got a home base now. We do bi-weekly shows. Um, we try to keep it as old school as possible. We got the old school gymnasium feel. We seat, I think max on the building's 125. We'll seat 60 to 70 people every show. $5 a head gets you in. Sometimes I get to use the old adage of Jim Ross. It's a slobber knocker.
So 2 questions. You just mentioned that y'all do $5 tickets.
Yes, sir.
Damn. And
hold on a second.
So unique.
Let me tell you why.
Okay.
About 5 or 6 years ago, my local hometown area was furniture factory and cotton mills. You come out of high school, you go to the factory. I was lucky. I was pushed towards college. And we, at that point in time, about 2 years ago, we were doing $10 tickets. And I got to looking at it, and, on average for a family of 4, if you got 2 teenagers, you're looking at $40 to go to a show. Okay. And then, you got to stop 9 times out of 10, you're going to stop and get something to eat. So there's another $40. And then you're going to drop 10, 15 bucks, 20 bucks at the canteen. It was really difficult for a family of 4 in our area to be able to drop $100 every 2 weeks. So, we had a meeting, we had a discussion. I talked to my parents about it, who are my probably my 2 biggest fans. And we decided, a $5 ticket is affordable. And for a family of 4, if they eat at home before they come for $20, they can enjoy a show. So that's kind of how we started that, and we really honestly haven't looked back.
I could say that that's unique as far as looking out for your community, but honestly, it's not knocking what you're doing for your community, but that's what wrestling does. I believe there's so many promoters out there that are just family driven to give your communities something to do, to enjoy, and not just to break the bank with them. And I definitely want to thank you for looking out for your community like that. That is great. I love hearing that. So going to your bookers, has it always been a 3-man way that you do it, or is that something that came out of the blue?
Well, it's okay. So first of all, let me tell you a little bit about me.
All right.
I'm a nurse by trade. 25 years in. And traditionally I work 12-hour day shifts. So, basically I'm not as hands-on as I really want to be as far as the booking end of it.
Right.
My booking team puts a card together. It comes to me for final approval. If there's something on there that one of us doesn't like, then we usually do a conference type call and figure out what we're going to do. Like I say, with the 3-person booking team, it works out well because you've got 3 different people coming from 3 different areas that, may have different ideas. Excuse me. So with that being said, I feel like with the 3-person team, we cover everybody.
And I like that for the simple fact too, that when you have other people besides yourself, you're not watering down your product to what I want versus what we think together is best for I hate this phrase, best for business.
Oh, Vinnie Mac.
Oh yeah. But I really like that. So let's talk about some of your titles. What titles do y'all have there?
Okay, so when we initially started out, we basically ran a heavyweight title and a tag title. Um, we were lucky enough that we did good enough. I got to order a custom set of HWA titles. Right now, we run a heavyweight title. Our current heavyweight champion is Mr. Caleb Crocker, goes by the nomenclature the Filthy Fabio. He goes out, he's escorted with the lovely Bella. We run a Mid Atlantic title. Doc Archer is our Mid Atlantic champion right now. And we run tag titles. A name from the past, Mr. Dion Johnson, and a young man by the name of J Baby Cage is our tag titles holders right now. We also every now and then bring out a Southern States title. Right now, no one has it. So we kind of use the Southern States title as it's something. If we need to bring it out, we can.
Something that is a pet peeve of mine, and I hate it. There's no two ways around it. I hate when a promotion has their top title as a world title. I hate that. I hate it with a passion, because if you do not go out of your area, how in the hell can you have a world title?
It's like I say, we go with a heavyweight title. And I'm a believer. I don't really feel like the heavyweight title should be defended every show. My heavyweight champion, for example, has a deal with a company in Georgia that he works regularly. With the understanding, we work together. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now my Mid Atlantic champion is my workhorse. That is the workhorse title. So my Mid Atlantic title gets defended probably 90% of the shows.
And I like that. I like the setup and everything. Um, Now, let me ask you this about your Mid Atlantic title. Did you choose the name of Mid Atlantic for the old school feel appeal of it, or why did you call it the Mid Atlantic title? I should just say that.
Interesting question. I actually I had a wrestler coming to us from Greenville, South Carolina one night, and I was scrolling through Facebook Marketplace, and a guy had a Mid Atlantic title for sale, and I want to say he wanted like $200 for it. It wasn't much. I called him up and I was like, "Hey, dude, where are you coming from?" He told me, and I said, "Look, if I buy this belt, can you bring it to me? Can you pick it up and bring it to me?" So that's how our Mid Atlantic title came into being.
Oh wow, interesting. Um, Tell me a little bit more about your tag team division.
Yeah, for me in this local area, it's hard to find a set tag team. Two guys that specifically are tag team wrestlers.
Right.
There's 3 or 4, maybe 5 in our area. You got Expensive Attraction, you got the Moonshiners, or Moonshine Express, I believe. That's 2 right off the top of my head. Dion and J Baby. Jay's actually one of Dion's trainees. There's a guy that Dion had trained. But I mean, you go back to the days of the Rock and Roll Express and Midnight Express, it seems like, there were tag team specific wrestlers.
Yes.
And I think that's something that's kind of fell to the wayside in our area anyway. I mean, you can tag two guys up and you have a tag team. But that's probably the one division that we've got right now that I'm actively searching for true tag teams.
I'm a big tag team buff guy. I I know a lot of history on tag teams and stuff. Probably one of my favorite tag teams. Well, not one of my favorite. They rank up in my top 10 and they don't get credit. Well, because they wasn't together too long, but for me was impressive and they had so much wrestling chemistry between the three of them. They should have been blowing the roof off the place, but unfortunately they never got the real chance to do it. And that's Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton with Michael PSAs as their manager.
Okay, so I'm gonna challenge you there.
Okay.
You're talking 3-man tag teams.
Right.
You got to go with the Freebirds.
Oh yeah. Don't get me wrong. Love the Freebirds, everything they did. That we wouldn't have great wrestling entrance if it wasn't for the Freebirds, because they were really the first people that had music coming out. Love the Freebirds. But and I guess my thing is just the knowledge of the three guys, because to me, when I think tag team, I'm thinking Arn Anderson and I think Bobby Eaton, and then they're together with the knowledge of Michael Hayes. That should have been so much bigger than it was. But I definitely love the Freebirds. And for me, my top tag team of all time is Arn and Tully.
Gotta be when they were running with the Horsemen.
Man,
most definitely.
They were one of the few tag teams that I watched that legitimately did not have to signal each other. They knew what the other guy was thinking. They were always in the right position. It was just an amazing thing with Tully and Arn. And to this day, even at their age, I actually could see them getting in the ring one last time and whooping somebody to death.
I've actually had the opportunity to meet both of those gentlemen.
Oh,
and I'll be honest with you. There's very few of my old school heroes that I still want to meet. I think top 2 or top 3: Jerry Lawler, Jim Ross. And actually, one of my bookers, Chris Hamrick, got me Jim Ross's book for my birthday.
Oh, wow.
And I really, really want to meet Michael Hayes. But, I mean, you go talking old school and you want to talk teammates or factions. It's everybody knows the Four Horsemen. And you look at it, Tully and Arn as a tag team, man, they done everything together. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it wasn't, we're going to show up on Saturday at the show and we're going to do this. I mean, they lived it. They were together.
Oh yeah.
And, so yeah, I got to agree with you there. Arn's a true technician. Tully, same way.
I always tell people, because anytime the Horsemen are brought up, everybody's Rick. I'm like, I love Rick. Rick is the centerpiece of the Horsemen, but he's not the heart and soul of the Horsemen. It's Arn. Anytime somebody came at that group, the first person who stepped up was like, You can't get at none of these other guys until you go through me.
The enforcer.
Exactly. And I'm so glad to this day that he owns the rights to the Four Horsemen name. I am so glad he does. Because it was his idea. He came up with it. But
it's hard to beat old school wrestling.
I try not to be biased, but and I think a lot of people are biased for this fact of when I think I can speak for you at this too. When you think of the wrestling we grew up with, it's a love and a passion. Even though we watch wrestling today and we may like it, it doesn't hit the same as old school wrestling.
Exactly. I think, when me and you were talking earlier, I'd made mention of Dusty Rhodes and Sapphire. And, that's one of those things, not only in wrestling, but just in America, that broke down so many walls.
Yes.
It is so many walls. And, I think with Dusty Rhodes, especially, he was proof. You didn't have to have the sculptured, chiseled out body and all that to be successful,
Oh, yeah.
But given Dusty had the gift of gab.
Dusty knew how to touch people. To this day, when people talk the greatest promo, Dusty's name is always up in the top 5. Because
definitely.
He made you feel so much of the heart that he was putting out there. When you able to say, put your hands up and touch my hands on national TV, and I can imagine people were touching the TV because I knew damn well I did.
Yes, sir.
It was just something. And when you were talking about Dusty, made me think of a time I met Dusty. It was most heartbreaking moment of my wrestling life. I'm standing in line, patiently waiting. The guy in front of me is talking to Dusty. I'm just sitting there. All right, I'm about to get to meet my idol. I come up, he turns his back on me and start talking to someone else. It broke the little kid in me just started bawling, crying. And he just kept talking to the other person. And in my head, I'm mad now. I'm just pissed. I assumed the guy beside him was his manager, and he bumped Dusty because he saw my face. And Dusty turned around and I think he spoke to me and gave me an autograph. I took the autograph. I was so hurt. For a year, I just said I was done with Dusty. And one day, I was just watching wrestling like I usually do, and the thought came to me, baby, the American dream has a lot going on, my friend, and he didn't mean to hurt your heart. And I came back like, I'm sorry, Dusty, you still the man. I just hugged my TV and made up with Dusty.
Well, you look at it, Dusty came out as the common man, and you look at the sons that, they both are great athletes, bar none, took 2 totally different paths.
Right.
And I might be one to argue that Dustin is probably more talented than Cody.
I would agree with you with that. He definitely.
Dustin was more of a versatile performer.
Yes. Now Cody is more of a talker like his dad than Dustin. But
yeah, he is. But he don't. Cody just don't reach out and grab the American population the way his daddy did.
Oh no, not at all. But and I will say this for him. He realizes a lot of times if he goes wrong on something, he's easily he's easy to adjust. That's what
Yes.
he knows. He can read the fans like his father. He can't touch him like him, and he's popular, no doubt about it. But he is not his father. One of the things I wanted to also ask about owning your own promotion. Do you still watch other wrestling shows?
I do. You know, I've by owning the promotion, you know, you meet a lot of people, a lot of people. Gentleman that has helped me book in the past recently opened up a show a couple towns over. Yeah, I have yet to make one of his shows, but unfortunately, we're running basically same schedule, same show dates. You know, I mean, I do, you know, typical Facebook thing. You know, you scroll through on Sunday mornings and you say, oh, they had a show. Let's look at the crowd. Let's look at some of the footage, things of that nature.
Right.
You know, and it's really hard not to compare your show to somebody else's show. In my opinion, you know, nobody runs a show that's perfect. Okay.
Right.
We've all got glitches. We've all got things, you know, that can be improved upon. But you know, if I've got a Saturday off and we don't have a show, usually we've got training on Saturday mornings or sometimes Saturday. You know, try to catch that. If there's a show going on locally, try to catch a show somewhere. You know, you never can tell. The guy wrestling next door and in the next town over may be, you know, the big draw for you next week. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
It's a learning process, and anybody that tells you, you know, that owns it or promotes it, a show tells you they've got it all down pat and they don't need to learn nothing, then, you know, I disagree with that. So, yeah. But like I say, yeah. I've got a good team. I've got Billy Stowe does my marketing, the posters and things like that, and I'll put Billy's work up against anybody's. You know, to the booking, to the person that you know, sells the tickets coming in the door. The lady who runs the canteen. I mean, I've got a great team. I've surrounded myself with a great team of people. You know, and it's like today, I think I've got 7 or 8 calls, and it's just, you know, it's people wanting to talk about wrestling. You know, this happened at the last show. You know, this is what I think you can do to help improve that, or you know.
Right.
So we take a lot of fan advice. You know, if you got somebody that's buying 4 or 5 tickets to get in your show, and they tell you there's something that you did that they didn't like, you know, you got to take the time to look at it.
Right. Definitely.
You know, we learning. We make mistakes every show. We make our mistakes. We grow on them. We go on down the road.
And honestly, that's what I think any good business would and should do. And the reason why I asked about if you watch other shows is because I've talked to some promoters who they don't want to look at other people, what other people are doing. They're just totally focused on what they're doing, which I can understand that. And then I've had other people who still keeps up with what's going on everywhere else. And they're like, well, the reason being we want to make sure maybe they're doing something I never thought about, gives me an idea to what can help us. So I get both sides of the coin. I was just curious on what your stance was with that.
I've said many times, competition is not something I back down from. You know, I feel like I'll put my product, my company up against any company, you know, and it's, my mindset is, oh, there's somebody running the Armory 10 miles down the road. Well, I'm running here. It's my job as a promoter to draw the crowd to my building. Yeah, so I do like
And we're having a little technical difficulties. Just hang in there, guys and girls. And he will be back with us shortly, I believe. Um, Again, it's an amazing thing of being a promoter and having to put that time and energy into things. It is definitely not easy and almost a thankless job, but that's why I I always kind of tell you everybody to let them know how much you appreciate what they're doing, and like you said, comment on some things that you could see or would like to see. You never know. They they definitely listen to the crowd because you're their audience and they want to make sure you're having a great time. Now, I'm not saying they're going to let you run the whole show and your ideals is going to be just the greatest thing ever, but again, you just never know and how things are going. So a lot of times you just have to try and see how it turns out. Um, One of the big things is to go and support your local wrestling. You know, give them a chance and see what they're doing. And it could be the show for you. Um, a lot of promotions are family friendly, but definitely do your research to go. And then you're spending definitely cheap, you're getting in cheaper, you're having to get refreshments cheaper, and actually you'll get maybe a chance to talk to the wrestler, get an autograph, get some merch. It's a more of a family feeling type shows that brings you more into it. It's a more intimate setting that most your big shows definitely can't provide. Not saying that they don't give great, they're not good or indies are not good. It's just different feels. And for me personally, now I'm I would do an indie show in a heartbeat to get that experience and just to be able to see the families enjoy it, the little boys, little girls enjoying themselves, getting to see superheroes come to life. It's an amazing thing. It's so amazing. Um, One thing I definitely appreciate about promoters is they try to take the time to see how we as fans enjoy the show and try to make sure their booking is sensible, try to make it you to engage in it to get so emotionally driven from it. So it's definitely what we look for as wrestling fans. So sometimes it's a fun thing. Um, I have geez, around me locally, it's probably like 6 to 7 different promotions, and I try to go to all the ones I can and enjoy it and be supportive. So it's one of those type deals. Oops. Hey, we got you back.
I think I figured. I don't know what happened. I haven't moved.
It happens, especially a lot of times when people are using their phones. If somebody calls in, it breaks the connection. So, but you're back. That's all that matters.
I apologize for that. I'm
Uh,
sorry.
it happens. It happens. Um, so, as you were gone, I was just talking about how much you all appreciate the fans and try to be mindful and listen to them and give them the greatest product that y'all can. Um,
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, we as a company couldn't survive without the fans. Fans, wrestlers, right down to the security guys, the refs, the lady that sells the hot dogs, the lady that takes the money at the booth. I mean, at the door, you know.
yeah, and and I've that's one of the common themes I've heard from promoters. They're so grateful for everyone, and they always try to shout out at everyone and let them know how appreciated they are and how much they mean to the team.
I mean, like I say, I've got a great team. Every show starts with Billy Stowe doing our PR stuff, our posters, our postings, and things like that. Can't say enough about him. Phenomenal work. Love everything he's putting out. And then you got the booking team, Chris and myself and our partner. Um, then if my booking team does our job, ideally and realistically, show day's gravy. Show day's easy. It doesn't work like that all the time, but ideally it should, but it doesn't.
Right.
So all in all, but I would like to say, I know we're coming up on the time that you gave me. If there's any wrestlers out there that want to come down to North Carolina, want to give us, a bunch of old boys from North Carolina a shot and try to work a little bit in North Carolina, reach out to myself, reach out to Chris Hamrick. We would love to have some new faces in the locker room.
Guys, y'all heard that first. The only way you're going to be able to grow is to go to different places, work different promotions, learn different styles. You want to be a utility player, as I like to call it. You can do any style, you can do heel, face, you can do it all. That makes you valuable to anyone that gives you a shot and works with you. So make sure you're trying to be a utility player. And I want to thank you for coming on the show. Um, I definitely let you know that you have an open invitation. We can. I enjoyed the conversation. You can come back on. We can talk about whatever, promote shows. I'm so down for that, and I really want to thank you again for everything you're doing for the sport. And even though you looked into it, you are making one hell of a difference. And I definitely appreciate you for that.
Sir, I appreciate the opportunity. Anytime you want to talk wrestling with an old country boy from North Carolina, hit me up, shoot me a message. We'll make something happen. Like I said, I want to say thank you to Billy, who got me the opportunity. I think you were actually scheduled with Billy tonight and something came up. He couldn't do it. Appreciate Billy trusting me enough to pinch hit on this one. Like I say, it's a total team effort from, Billy gets the ball rolling for us, makes everything happen pre-show, does great work for us. Then, Chris Hamrick, myself, we put everything together, and ideally and realistically, if everything comes together on Saturday, it's an easy day.
Right.
And like I say, once again, anybody out there, any wrestlers, from the greenhorn to the seasoned vet that would like to come to North Carolina and work a little bit, we're located right basically in the middle between Asheville and Charlotte. Hit me up on Facebook, hit Chris up. We'd love to have some new faces.
Again, thank you so much. And I already got an idea what we probably could do. Get the four of us together and watch an old school match and tear it apart.
There you go. Listen, brother, I know you got another podcast coming up. I want to thank you for the opportunity. Enjoyed it. Enjoyed the conversation. Anytime, hit me up. Let me know when you got some available time. We'll do whatever you need to do, brother.
That sounds great.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Have a great one.
You too. Guys,
Bye-bye.
girls, this has been another great story around the campfire. Again, and I said this before, I say it again, and I will say it again. I will not stop saying it. Go support your local wrestling promotion. Go give them a chance. You can go and see new stars, young talent that are working their way through the business and trying to live out the dreams that most of us have. So go be supportive. And on top of that, man, it's a great thing that you can go into the event with money and actually come out with money. They're not trying to rape you like, oh, I shouldn't say that word, but they're not trying to empty your pockets like TKO. So, man, give them a chance. And with that being said, I am Professor Burr. This has been a Burr's Thought, and we'll see you around the campfire very, very soon.
Thank you, sir. God bless.
God bless.